Hey everyone! Today I am going to show you how to braid 4 spools of capture chain together into a beautiful braided necklace. So we're going to do a little bit of wire wrapping, and I'm going to show you how to use a very special tool that actually came in the book kit that looks like this. And that's where this kit for this project is from as well. So I'm going to show you how to use that and how to braid with it because it's very easy to do and a lot of fun. So if you're looking for any of the materials that I'm using for this video, for this tutorial, you can check out the video description. Again, this kit came from the book kit that's available on silversilkonline.com, but you can certainly find the materials elsewhere as well as the different capture chains. Um, so, welcome to my channel. My name is Nilay Patel. I'm the owner, designer, and educator of Silver Silk and More. And it's my job to bring you guys fun, exciting projects time and time again for me to stay inspired and for you guys to stay inspired. And before we get started with our tutorial for today, though, I want you to do 2 things, really 3 things. First is, if you're over on the YouTube, I want you guys to destroy that subscribe button to the best of your ability. Tell all your friends about it. If they want to get hooked, addicted to jewelry making, they'll want to surely follow Silver Silk and More on the YouTube channel. While you're there, please like the video. Next, you can also go to my Instagram and follow me there. I've got a ton of inspiration, projects, reels, pictures, you name it, it's on there. It's a great place to get inspired. So without further delay, let's go ahead and get started with today's project. Alrighty, so I've got a mess of stuff on my table, which is the best way to craft, right? I've got the kits that came in that book kit. So I'm going to talk through those here in a second, but really I like to start with the tools and introduce those first and tell you guys what I'm going to be using to construct all this stuff. So I've got my handy pair of cutters. These are from Lindstrom, and they are used to cut craft wire, beading wire, thread. They're very, very sharp, and so you could really use them for a multitude of different cords. I've also cut silver silk with them, of course, and so I just have them on hand. I've got my trusty chain nose pliers as well as my round nose pliers. Both are from a company called Weber's that are tool specialists, and these are their Pro line tools, and I absolutely love these. They've got a metal handle, very easy to grip and handle, and are very high quality. So I love using them. And then I just have a pair of nylon jaw pliers. These are great for straightening out wire, craft wire specifically, which is what I'm going to be using for today's project construction. And I just have a pair of wide nose pliers. I don't think I'll actually be using this in the project today, but I kind of want to give them a shout out just because they're super handy to have and complete my Weber's collection, if you will. So these 4 pliers have really just made my jewelry making experience so much easy and fun to do. All right, so I'm going to set those aside, and I'm going to show you what materials were in that kit real quick. All right, so within that kit came a couple pair of cones. These are about 10 millimeters in the inner diameter and then taper off to probably what's maybe 2-3 millimeters max. It is a decorative cone, so it's really pretty. And yeah, those are going to be used to house 4 different capture chains together, believe it or not. I've got a couple of decorative beads. These are just some bicone crystals. Really, you can use anything that's up to about maybe 4 to 5 millimeters. Excuse me, bigger than that. Go big or go home, right? We're going to do about 6 to 10 millimeters, I think, in decorative beads. I kept mine petite for this project, though. I've got a magnetic clasp. This is I think for this project, it's a nice preferred clasp. You can, of course, use a decorative toggle. You can use a lobster claw if you want. There's something just nice about the ease of magnetic clasps that I really like, that they can just, be snapped on and ready to go. So today I'm going to be using this magnetic clasp. And then I've got some 20 gauge craft wire. The brand that I chose to use for this project is Softflex Craft Wire. Again, the link for where to find that is in the description, excuse me. And I'm using about 8 inches. You need between 6 and 8 inches, really. You don't need very much to complete this project. So beyond those 4 things, I've also got 4 spools of capture chain. I'm going to be using all 3 feet that it comes on. This will give me a pretty good size longer necklace, but you can of course taper it to the size that you would like it. If you want it to be closer to your neck and then maybe have a pendant hang off of it, you can absolutely do that. I think that would be stunning, in fact. But we're just going for a longer necklace for this guy. Alrighty, so I'm going to set those things to the side, and right now I just need my craft wire and my 4 spools of capture chain. I'm using some beautiful colors here. We've got antique white, which is one of my favorites, I think. I love the river, which is a silver ball chain that is the core of some blue, dark blue knitted wire there. We've got Seafoam, which is also silver inside ball chain, and a lighter blue color, a seafoam color. And then I've got Storm, which is the same color of knitted wire as River, but really what makes the difference here is that it's a gunmetal chain on the inside. So you could really see the tonality difference there, which is really cool. Really gives you a different effect, and I think a very River-esque piece here. So I'm just going to gather up all those and kind of get them all nice and in a straight line there. If you've got a little bit of ball chain sticking out, you can, of course, just trim it back and just get it lined up to the best of your ability. Okay, and then as per any sort of crimping that I like to do with knitted wire, you kind of want to condition your knitted wire in this sense as well. What conditioning means is that you sort of tidy up the ends. You shake out all of the little wire extra little fuzzies that tend to fall out once you trim it. I call them fuzzies. I think that's just a fun word for it. But yeah, there's just some little wire remnant pieces whenever you trim the wire, and those tend to kind of hang on to the knitted wire that's, on the spool. So just kind of take them off. If you want to use your pliers, your chain nose pliers to kind of pluck them off, you can absolutely do that. I think I went ahead and actually preconditioned my one end here, so I think we're in good shape. So I'm just going to grab my my craft wire here, and I'm going to go through the knitted wire. This is one of the really cool aspects of silver silk. The way that it's knitted and the way that it holds together with the knits in between the little knit holes, they don't fray. It's that wire knitted aspect, which is really cool. And so you can sew through it, you can string through it, you can really do anything with it. But in this case, I'm just pushing some craft wire right through it. And I'm going 2 of the ball chain or 2 of the beads below and just inserting it right through the knit there. And I'm going to do that to all of these. Okay, just like that. I'm going to work from an inch in from my wire there, and I'm just going to go ahead and fold it over so that my knitted wires are now kind of stacked on top of each other. With the residual craft wire here, what I'm going to do is actually fold this right up as a 90-degree angle, and then you can take this extra wire and actually just kind of coil it around to the best of your ability. It's going to be all tucked away inside of that cone, so it really doesn't have to be pretty as much as secure. Okay, to that little end there, I'm just going to kind of bend it in and then press it into my knitted wire there so that I've got a nice secure hold. Perfect. So essentially just have it nice and bunched up there, which is perfect. Get those little pieces out of the way. At this point, you can actually string on your cone, and it should just all fall nicely inside of your cone like that. And then you can grab your decorative bead and pretty much stack it right on top. So at this point, I'm going to do a little wire wrap loop, and I'm going to attach my magnetic clasp to it. So you want to grasp it in your chain nose pliers. I'm going to go closer to the tip because this area that I have within my tip, that length there, is the part that's going to be wrapped with the extra wire. So the further you are down into your pliers, the more wrapping you'll have to do. So you do want to stay at the tip there. Once you've done that, you can actually switch to your round nose pliers and grasp it, and then work that wire right around to the other side. It should be pointing toward you, and then you can kind of switch the different sides of your plier there, and then go ahead and finish out that loop. Now, before I get to wrapping that stem, I'm going to actually string on 1/2 of my magnetic clasp and go ahead and slide that right into my loop there. Okay, you kind of got a little bit out of hand there. So once I've done that, I can then grasp that loop with my chain nose pliers, and then I can coil until I reach the top of that bead. This will probably be about 2 or 3 coils. Okay, just like that. That looks really good. And then you could simply cut that right off. You could also attach that loop to a jump ring if you want to make that clasp removable later down the road. This just gives a nice secure hold to your piece. So now that I've got this beautiful cone all attached, I can then now start on my braiding. Okay, so this is a special tool that I did make and fabricate. Within your kit, you'll notice that it comes with a sort of paper backing, so you can just remove that with an X-Acto knife. I was going to say a pair of scissors, but that might not be the best idea. That might scratch up your board. But I kept a paper backing on there just to make sure that it was well protected during shipping and all that good stuff. But yeah, you could just take a little X-Acto knife or your fingernail and just, start to peel it off to the best of your ability. Now, this has arrows on it. This is going to be the start point of your braid. So wherever there's an arrow, go ahead and place a strand of silver silk. Looks like I've got one there and I've got one there. So the idea here is that you're going to, with the strand that's on the top and bottom arrow, they'll just flip directly up to their opposing notch there, their opposite notch. So this one will go down, this one will go up, and then the same thing on the right and left side. So the left side will go from left arrow to left no arrow, and then the bottom right will go from arrow that's on the right side to this side, which is no arrow. So let me demonstrate several times because it'll take a little bit of getting used to. All right, so I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to go from the arrow to the non-arrow directly to the bottom, and then go from bottom to top with my other strand there. And I think it's easier if you have this working off of a long table or something. It's going to be a little tricky since I'm on a very shallow table, but I shall do my best. Okay, once I've done that, now I'm ready for this and this side. So I'm going to switch from arrow on the right side to non-arrow on the left, and then switch from this side to this side. That basically has set up your first braid, and now we just basically repeat the same process, but we're going from the other side here. So this side doesn't have an arrow, which means that that braid was complete, but we're going to take that directly down to the bottom. So it's a little bit like Kumihimo, but just simplified. You're basically just weaving up and down, right and left, time and time again. Okay, so again, we'll just take our storm, go to that side, take this one back to the arrows. So yeah, now you'll notice that you're back in the same position as we started. You see my arrow there is with my white chain as well as these other ones. So now you just repeat that process. So you just go white down, river up, storm side, seafoam other side. Okay, if you need to kind of move your chains out of the way, this is a good time to do that. So I think I'm going to do that. Okay. There we go. So now I'm ready. And having the logo face up is a good indicator of where you are as well. So now I'll just go up, down, up. So my white is back in the same position as it was before. And I'll move my other two chains left and right again. So I'll go a little bit faster this time. And you'll start to see through the clear board here how well my braid is coming together. And those little notches are perfect. They have a little bit of a groove in them, so they hold your capture chain in place while you're braiding. You don't have to worry about it slipping out, in other words. Okay, so now I'm ready to push that up. This goes down, side, to side. As you can see, it is braiding up quite well. Sometimes if it's a little bit loose and tight on one side, you can kind of spread it out as I just did. So now I'll just continue with the braiding. I suppose I could have done I might do a shorter piece for the purpose of this demonstration. We'll do a quick little bracelet instead of a full necklace, maybe. There's a lot here to work with. I don't know, maybe I can get it. I can probably do it. The more I get braided, the less extra stuff there will be to sort out here. Could you imagine the different colors, though, that would be in wonderful combination together? Even for a fall palette would be really, really cool to do, I don't know, maybe some coppers or some brass colors. Ooh, even the pearlesque chains mixed in with it for some shimmer. Saying the possibilities are endless. And yeah, you can get this as tight as you want it, and you can make it, or you can make it as loose as you want with the braiding. And that's really up to you and how you prefer your design to be. I will say it will come out consistent, and so you can sort of, whoops, I think I braided the wrong thing there, maybe. No, it's down. No, just kidding. Okay, left to right. Up, down. Okay. Let's get some of this stuff untangled. That's probably the most probably the most annoying part that I'm having right now is having to kind of keep all of these. Again, it's just because I'm working on a shallow table, but I'd imagine many of you out there would probably have much more desk space to work with for longer designs here. Just need to braid more. That's really it. And the tool makes it super easy to do. For sure. Okay, let's see. So I need to go up, down, right, left, up, down, right, left. Okay, getting less silver silk here to work with, so that's good. It means that the braiding is happening. Oh, the other thing I wanted to point out, you guys, is that whenever you do braid with silver silk or with any cord, um, you will start out with a longer spool, but whenever you braid it, that spool shrinks. So in this case, even if I'm using all 3 feet of silver silk for each of these, my necklace will be not 3 feet long. It'll be probably closer to 2.5 feet, I believe, by the time all is said and done. Because it just happens, right? It just shrinks as you braid because it's going to be taking up a lot of that cord to braid it. So whenever you're designing this sort of braiding or this sort of jewelry piece, you'll want to keep that in mind and make sure you cut extra just in case. You can always trim back if you want to, but you can't always add on unless you have some extra decorative beads, you know, um, at the end of your necklace there. Oh, this is just coming out super cool though. Super easy. And this personally to me feels more of a loose braid. I actually like a tighter braid on something like this, but again, it's just going to be a matter of consistency and making sure that you're holding everything correctly. Okay. There we go. I think this would be absolutely stunning with a really statement design pendant too, to hang from it. I did a video a long time ago that did have a pendant design hung off of a bigger chain like this, and it was really pretty. I think it was a fall design, in fact. Ooh, yay. Okay, so less silver silk here to work with, so that's a good thing. All right, so I just need to keep braiding. Really gonna power through this, you guys. We are gonna make a necklace today. And I get to show you how to finish up the other end because it is just as easy with that end as it was in the beginning. Okay, there we go. It definitely gets much easier and much faster once you reach the end of your spool there. As you can see, I'm braiding this fairly quickly, and it doesn't take much from the braid board either. Cool, cool. Okay, so I might make this a tad shorter than, because I kind of want this to lay just, I don't want this to be a long necklace, I suppose. So I think this is actually a really good spot to end it. So I'm just going to grab all this and take it right off of my braid board, and I'm going to kind of just gather them in my hand here like that. Oh, that's going to be a real stunner piece though, I'm saying. That's a perfect length for a necklace. Okay, so with the remaining wire that we had, I'm just going to string it right through where my thumb is. When you string this through, you definitely want to make sure you're really in the middle of your ball chain there. So you could see I went from one side of those knits to the other. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trim off my knitted wire here. Okay, and I'm going to go 2 beads above where I just strung with my craft wire and simply trim it from there. Okay, this is those wire fuzzies that I was talking about earlier that occur whenever you trim the wire or the knitted wire chain. And it could be on any of the chains. It happens to pearlesque chains, it happens to flat mesh. It's just a thing. It's just a thing with the wires. You're just gonna have to do your best to take them out. Not all of them tend to come out, but the ones that can come out, definitely try and take care of those. All right. So I'm just going to fold my wire 90 degrees up, just like that. And then you can stack these by folding that little wire right over. And then once you've done that, you can just coil the residual wire here right around. And you could even point this in kind of like a staple, if you will. And then you can smash that right into your knitted wire. So you got a nice little secure bundle there. And then you can grab your cone, your other cone that you have, string it right over, grab your bead, string that little guy on, and you're ready to complete a wire wrap loop here. Okay, just as before, we're going to make a 90-degree angle bend, insert it into your round nose pliers, fold the wire toward you, switch sides, and complete that wire looping. Once you get a nice little loop there, I'm going to just open it up ever so slightly, slide in my magnetic clasp, the other half at least, and then I'm going to use my other hand here to wrap this around. You can, of course, use a different tool if it'll help you. This craft wire happens to be pretty soft from Softflex wire, so it doesn't do much damage to my fingers, luckily. All right, so now I'm just going to push that little end in, and I have got a braided chain that is very colorful, very sea-inspired or river-inspired, and just makes a really great statement piece by itself, or you can hang a pendant off of it if you're looking for that little extra something something. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I did showing it to you. Braiding the chain is one of my top techniques that I enjoy doing. It's very therapeutic, especially once you get into a groove and you start to kind of learn and see how the chain is building. It just is like that light bulb just comes on, and it's so much fun. So I can't wait to see what creations you make with the different color capture chains and the infinite number of possibilities, of course, that you can do. When you do this, please post your designs to our Facebook community group called the Silver Silk Silkies. You'll want to join. You can join in for free, and we're just a loud, crazy bunch of creative people that enjoy using Silver Silk, and we love to post our designs, share in the good vibes, and just catch up with each other because we're all friends here in our community. So we invite you to join us. Otherwise, you'll want to destroy that subscribe button on YouTube and like the video if you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I did teaching it. Leave a comment, show the channel and this video some love, if you will. And lastly, you can join me on Instagram, follow me there. And I've got a ton of inspiration out there for you to either salivate to, as I say, or ooh and ah, or even just make something. You might be inspired with an idea that follows one of the tutorials, and so you'll see the idea on Instagram, find the YouTube tutorial, and then give it a try for yourself. So it's a lot of fun. This is a fun brand. This is a fun product, and I hope you will enjoy using it. So until next time, keep it fun and creative, and I love all of you so much. Again, my name is Nilay Patel. I'm the owner, designer, and educator at Silver Silk & More, and I will see you guys again here soon. Mwah!